Good morning, everyone. I'm really excited to talk to you about project priorities. My name is Ines Kaps, and I'm a very experienced project and turnaround manager for the last 23 years. And in June, I have launched the first round of Passion for Projects Academy. This is a project excellence coaching program, and I will share a little bit about it at the end of the session. A little bit more about me. I'm Austrian. I'm married to a Swiss husband. I'm living in Germany, and I've run approximately 300 projects, global projects, predominantly in Europe, but also with links to Japan, to the US, to Israel. What I'm really happy and proud of is that I've also set up 5 companies in my career. So whenever I run projects, I really can dig into all the different processes of a business, from business development, sales, innovation management, to operations, finance, and IT and implementation. So it's this end-to-end business knowledge that I'm very comfortable with. So when we talk about project priorities, I would like to cover 3 topics today. Why is priority management actually really essential in project and as a project manager? What are the typical challenges with priorities? Probably you know the sentence, everything is priority 1, so we don't have to prioritize because everything is important. And then I will share 3 tips in how to actually manage and have conversations with stakeholders and with your bosses about your priorities, the priorities of the project, and really get, not only everything is very important, but to have priority 1, 2, and 3 to really actually manage your project in a professional manner. So imagine you're in a big project, and I had a conversation yesterday with a woman about priority management. And I had situations in my career where, as an example, an CIO really wanted to implement a new budgeting system in France. He wanted to switch the suppliers. He wanted to switch the technology because it would fit better into the IT strategy. However, the CFO responsible for all the business processes regarding budgeting did not want to change. So he wanted to stay with the current system because he knew the system very well. And they had different priorities. The CIO wanted to align and update the IT strategy. The business, however, really wanted to be as efficient in the budgeting processes as possible, because these were their tasks and their goals. So these were really clashing priorities, and the project implementation was very tough. In a different project, it was about rolling out a new document management system. The goal, or the communicated goal, was to implement and start the rollout by the end of the year. So by the end of the year, some rollout should have had happened. But the business that was connected with this rollout, at the end of the year, they had the most intense sales activities. So rolling out a new system just before the high season of the business is risky. And there were also very different priorities. The IT really wanted to achieve the goals, what they have set and what they have communicated to top management, that this system will be rolled out by the end of the year. And the business linked to this system was, well, we have the highest sales at the in the months of November and December, this is high risks, and we are doing the sales and the turnover. We are bringing in the cash for the business. We cannot do this, but with a very intense collaboration and discussion and testing, we actually were able to do the rollout just before this high season for the business, and it was a successful rollout. And very typically, and I had this conversation not only yesterday with a project manager, but also in my coaching program, we have these questions and topics on a, let's say, ongoing basis, is when your line manager is adding up to your tasks on your table. So it's new topic, new activity, new project that you should be doing, new event you should be organizing, new presentation. So it's adding up and adding up, but they're not taking away. And at some point in time, you just say, well, I only have 24 hours in a day. I'm not in the miracle business. How do I manage with this situation where you only get tasks added to your list, but nothing is getting moved down or moved away because there is no prioritization. So what are the challenges in these situations? Why do we actually have conflicts when it comes to priorities? When you think about the IT department, the CIO, the CFO, or the head of the business, they have completely different goals. They have a completely different business case. So the CIO has the goal, and probably the bonus, he receives the bonus if the projects are run in time, are delivered in time. That is their key priority. On the other hand, the business, their key priority is to do sales, to get the business going, to get new clients, new business, new cash in. And if there is a new system that will potentially disrupt this process, there is a conflict. They will move against. So you have these different stakeholders and these different goals in their career and also in their bonus system, which naturally clash. And being aware of this clash and just really trying to find a solution, how to bring those people together and how to solve this conflict, this is one of the key tasks of a project manager. The second topic, and I've discussed this in a LinkedIn Live yesterday. So if you look at my profile, there is a LinkedIn Live, a recording from yesterday about dependency planning. It is one of the difficulties is the intransparent dependencies. So if stakeholders don't really know what is the dependency, why do I need to move to this new system, and what if I don't move to this new system? What will happen to the business? And it could not only be in terms of business strategy, it could also be levels deeper. Let's say if I don't test this in time, I cannot do the rollout. If I don't have this documentation in time, I cannot request a change. All these different elements where you say, it's if I do this, then I'm allowed to do that. If I don't achieve this, then it has a consequence on other topics. And it's not always completely transparent to the stakeholders of your project. And therefore, your priority conversations are difficult because they don't understand why their very important priority should not be a priority for you. And they don't see the dependencies. And if you make it transparent and really showcase what if not, if you show this transparency, it's also easier for them to understand. And if you, as an example, if you're preparing dependency planning workshops on a regular basis with your stakeholders and communicate or integrate them in those dependency plannings, which is very, very beneficial. They may also have ideas and approaches where we say, well, if I don't get this priority, maybe you can help me somewhere else, and a different problem gets solved in this setup. So really collaborating on not only on the identification of the dependencies, but also on making them transparent is really very important. And the lack of this inconsistency and intransparency, that is usually a root cause for conflicts. And the third element is actually the lack of leadership. So it's not only you as a project manager who needs to step up as a leader, but it's also your sponsor or top management. So it is it's not leading a project. It's not leadership if you say everything is important and you're shying away of decisions and of saying no. So saying no to new tasks, saying no to incomplete topics, or not escalating if a client has not done their job and still wants to continue with the project plan. That is not leadership. And managing a project when everything is smooth, everything is happy, and nothing is worrying you, that is not, let's say, the skills you need as a project manager, because a project manager is the one who needs to make decisions, making hard decisions, and also saying no to new client requests, saying no to new tasks, and probably escalating if there is a change request, or if things don't run the way they need to run in order to achieve the goal. So that's when it comes to more heated discussions, to raising conflicts. That is when you as a project manager really can showcase your skills, your leadership, and your capabilities. So what are my 3 top tips in managing priorities? One of the most important elements is really understanding your stakeholders. So understanding who are you dealing with? Why is, let's say, the new system or not having the new system, why is this so important to them? What are their not only priorities, but what are their goals? What do they need to achieve in order to get their bonus? Most people in the corporate world are bonus driven. They have annual targets. They are paid by achieving their targets. And if your project is hindering them to achieve their targets that was set by the top management, then they will not support you. So really understanding what are their measures that they need to achieve. And if one of the key stakeholders in your project is measured by something else that is actually conflicting your project, it is the job of the top management to actually align those targets. Because if top management wants to have a new IT solution or a new IT strategy, and the business is measured by being as efficient as possible and not moving to this new system, this doesn't work. So there is a lack of transparency in top management, and there is also a wrong goals set to the different businesses. So understanding who you are dealing with, what are their personal goals, what are their business goals, what are their challenges they are facing, and what are their responsibilities. And as I said, are their goals actually benefiting your projects or not. So I would highly recommend that you do a stakeholder profiling activity. The second tip is transparency. So if you have project priorities, if you have dependencies, and people don't know why an activity, a test in March is so important, why can't we do this in April? Because it's easier for us. And you say, well, we need to do it in March. Why? And explaining the reasons, being transparent, and also being really transparent with all the dependencies. This is something that is super important when it comes to discussing priorities, and also having the conversations in prioritizing some things up or deprioritizing some other tasks. So transparency, not only in what are you talking about, but also what are the different dependencies. That is absolutely crucial. And in order to create this transparency, understanding, and collaboration, you could use SAFe, the Scaled Agile Framework. There are really great methods that you can apply. You don't have to be a 100% agile project. You don't have to be 100%, 100% and perfectly agile. You can use parts of this methodology to really foster collaboration and dependency planning. And then, of course, communicating those dependencies, this transparency. If you build a transparency, if you showcase the transparency, but if you don't communicate it, that's only half of the story. And this third very important tip is really setting boundaries. And setting boundaries is easier said than done, because when you're a project manager, you're deep into the project, you really want to work and get it done and get it across the finish line. You have probably the pressure from your line manager who really want to get this project finished. If you're working with an external client, they also want to get the job finished, and you have pressure from all different sort of stakeholders. And setting boundaries in a situation of pressure is not easy. But what you also need to always remember, you're not in the magic management business. There are no magic ones. There are no miracles. So even if I say you only have 24 hours a day and 7 days a week, it doesn't mean that you need to work 24 hours a day, because that doesn't make sense. But you cannot do miracles. You're not in the miracle management business. So your role as a project manager and also as an employee is to set boundaries. And it's not about, being the strong and aggressive person to say, no. It's having a conversation, having a decent and respectful conversation with the people who actually want to add another task and another task and another task, and they don't deliver or the topics you need. So if a client doesn't do their job and doesn't do their deliverables that are important, for instance, to define or prepare a migration. So if the data for the migration is not prepared, the migration will not work. And you need the migration in order to start a rollout. And a rollout has a specific planning. So if the input elements are not there, the output elements will not work. It is simple as that. And if the output element doesn't work, it doesn't make sense to keep the project plan. It does not work. So you as a project manager, you really need to raise this topic. And if there are difficult clients, you usually have a steering committee. You need to raise these topics as fast as possible, as early as possible. That is your leadership skill. That is your leadership job, is raising these topics. And what I said previously, it's the transparency. If you are transparent in what are all the tasks and what are the dependencies, if the preconditions are not met, if the pre-work is not done, you cannot move forward. It's like mathematics. If the input doesn't match, the output doesn't work. And it is exactly this transparency that is needed. There are no wonders. If the input doesn't work, the output doesn't match up. And what is the consequence? What is the consequence for the project plan if the input is not there? And this transparency is something that you need to communicate to the key stakeholders, to the key decision makers. And having these collaboration meetings, these transparency meetings, these prioritization meetings on a regular basis, not only with the client, but also with the steering committee and with your line manager, because the line manager is the one who also needs to support you, who needs to help you with additional resources or taking away activities that are maybe not so important. Maybe some of those activities were important 2 weeks ago, and today they are not important anymore. Or maybe they can be delegated to someone else. So it doesn't mean that everything that is on your desk needs to be done by you. And I would really prepare all these tasks that are on your table. What are the preconditions, what is missing, and what is the consequence of your current status? And having these conversations with your line manager and say, listen, this is on my table, it does not work. You cannot work for 3 people. It's not possible. You are not in the magic management business. And really having this conversation, say, listen, this is on my table. Let's have a conversation. What do you want me to do in the next week? And then let your line manager decide. Let your line manager set the priorities. And if they see what is on your table, they can understand what is possible in 8 days a week, 8 days a day, or 10 days, 10 hours a day, or whatever is the set that you need to work on. So they also need to understand and need to see what is on your table. They usually, not every line manager knows exactly what is on your table. Even if you have said it last week, you're probably not the only person they are leading. They may have different employees. They also may have different goals and projects they are involved in. Maybe they are in the budgeting phase. Maybe they have some issues at home. You don't know what is also on their table. So really making it easy for them and having these conversations on a regular basis really will help you integrate your line manager and allow them to do their job. It's also it's their job to set the priorities and to lead you as a leader. So these are very common topics that we discuss in Passion for Projects Academy. We really have on a regular basis these kind of conversations. Just yesterday evening, I had one of these prioritization setting discussions. Tonight, we will have a safe PI planning workshop for 2 hours to really get into the details on how to manage dependencies and how to foster the collaboration in complex projects. So this is really the essence of our weekly coaching. And what is Passion for Projects? What is the coaching program? It is basically a weekly coaching, a weekly online coaching. So that's where a small group of people, a small group of women come together. It's 3 to 5 people in one call. It will never be more than 10. So really small group of people, and these women join and ask their questions in the project. So we had questions or the situations where someone said, I have too many tasks on my table. I have no clue how to survive. I don't know what to do and how to prioritize what is important. And then the conversation and the coaching was really, well, what is the most important part? What is the one thing that will help you survive and help you move forward? And what are the things that you can delegate and that are actually not your job and maybe the job of HR? So to really integrate and be comfortable with delegating things off your table. Or if there are situations where you say, well, actually there is a team member in my team, and this team member is not performing. How should I manage this team member? Or there was a different question where they said, well, this is the first external project or external consultant that I'm leading. It's a new IT system we are implementing. How do I create the budget for this project? What do I need to take care of? So these are the questions that come to the table on a weekly basis. And there are different options per week. So I was a busy project manager. I've designed these 4 busy project managers. And I know that it's not every week looks the same. So you need flexibility where you say, one week I can do the morning session, the other week I can do the lunchtime session, or maybe the evening session. So it really, you choose when you want to join. Everything is recorded, transcribed, so you could actually rewatch the past sessions as well. And once a month, there are 2 hours of deep dive. So that this is where we really have 2 hours of workshop and collaborate and work on topics like SAFe today, or reputation management was last month. So it's really a workshop character. And then there are also modules around stakeholder management, business case management, goal setting as self-paced learning modules. The setup is, small groups, and what you pay, it is actually a coaching subscription. So I know this is unique and innovative for coaching. You pay as you go. So there is no program where you say you need to have 12 weeks or 3 months or 6 months. You decide yourself what is beneficial for you. So that's why it's 270 euros per month plus VAT, and you choose how long you want to stay. And the goal of this coaching is really to set you up that you are comfortable and in managing any situation in the projects and any type of stakeholders. So if this is something where you say, well, actually, I would like to try it out and it sounds good, it sounds interesting for me, or maybe there are other people where you say, well, actually, that could be beneficial for this person or this company, just please let me know. And the next step would be you hop on a discovery call with me, and I will share with you more details about the coaching. You choose the plan, whether it's a monthly plan or the annual plan, and then you jump on the next coaching call. And if you're fast today and book until lunchtime, so 12 o'clock Central European time, and you pay by then, you can come on the deep dive tonight at 8 o'clock in the evening. I hope this was valuable to you. So I hope to see you soon, and I will have a further LinkedIn